Something went wrong with my audio for this video. But I put way too much work into the script and recording to re-record the audio again, so please bear with this for today. Also, I was too lazy to even record the disclaimer, but that's showbiz, baby. Thank you for your patience and understanding, and if you hating though, well...
Fuck you hating ass nigga! Don't nobody give a fuck with your dumb ass thing! Give me this motherfucker! Get your ass up out of here, yo hook ass nigga!
Hey, it's me, or you told me, the guys with the 5 eyes that you see. Hello people, it's been too long since the last video, and I've been quite busy being a dad and a photographer and a sports videocaster, and if I keep doing well on YouTube, I could probably at least drop the dad part and do this full time someday, but that's besides the point. Welcome to my new series, Looking Forward To, where I talk about yet to be released games I hope I'll enjoy and be able to afford to play. The game I'm looking forward to today is Haste, Broken World, produced by Landfall Games. If you don't know the studio now, I think you will in the future, because these guys have got some serious talent. Landfall was founded by William Nude. I don't know how to pronounce Vikingish names, but I'm doing my best. And Philip Westier in 2014 in Stockholm, Sweden, adding Peter Henriksson shortly after in about 2016. Their first game, Airbrawl, got a Sweden Game of the Year nomination in 2014 and set the stage of what was to become a budding enterprise. Their other titles include Totally Accurate Battle Simulator, Nightfall, A Daring Journey, and Rounds, to name a few. Personally, one of my favorites is Cluster Truck. That game gives me like an itch. I have to play something utterly anxiety-inducing and claustrophobic, you know, because you just look at the way the trucks are going to the finish line and they're racing and pattering each other out. It's just, I don't know. It makes my hair crawl. I'd love to play that game. If I could describe their style though, it would be beautifully ridiculous, since they have a very quaint level and character design, yet the gameplay is usually centered around utterly chaotic set pieces with an externable amount of flair and detail. I also have a thing for Totally Accurate Battle Simulator because it just looks so goofy, yet it's so intense. It just fills me with this uncontrollable urge to see random AI entities kill each other for the honor of the code which the divine masters have disposed upon them, seeking glory in digits or death in bugs. Okay. If you look through their about section on the website, you can see that they have a little fun with their titles, and that really just personally extends itself through the games. You know, they're just a small group, relatively, just trying to make big games, you know. So they don't really take themselves too seriously, and that's why the games have such a playfulish charm to them. But don't ask them about any internships though. They don't have time to be putting training wheels on you, you know. They gotta keep going with what they gotta do. I'm definitely going to save up the last amount of money I told my wife I was buying groceries and gas with to cop some of their games when I can. So check them out. They've got titles on a variety of major platforms. Some are PC only, you know, for Steam and stuff, but they've also got some that are on like Xbox and PlayStation and whatnot. So they're doing big things. But back to their latest game, Haste. Now, this game has a very different vibration to it compared to the rest of the games by the studio. Firstly, it's their fastest game yet, clearly, and from looking from past titles, you can tell that they've been working on the system for the high speed motion for a few years now, and have refined it in a way that the Sonic team should probably plagiarize for Frontiers 2 or 2.5, however they do that. Adding to that, the character design is more focused and unique, and the level design is a bit more open than their usual, but just as intricate. The game retains the engine they've been using so far, so it has that familiar look compared to the other games, but just within their style, because, you know, I personally like it when you can tell, hey, that studio made that. You know, I just love brands and their signatures. Probably because I need to have one soon enough, besides just saying, hey, it's me, you tell me. Anyways, if I could describe the game to you in a layman's term, it would be like this. Have you ever had one of those dreams that feel normal? You know, like so normal, you can't tell you're dreaming. You know, you're just in it and it feels like you're in real life. So let's say you're back in high school and you're dating that popular girl at school, but in your universe, she never went D1, D2, and D3 with the football team. And you just feel amazing because inflation hasn't ruined your life yet. And you're holding hands with her, and then you start getting this feeling to run. So you move your legs a bit, and then all of a sudden you start floating. Next thing you know, You're doing little hop steps and gliding all over the place. Now, these are my favorite kind of dreams because if you happen to be able to control your REM state, you literally can start flying and gliding at will. It's a very unique experience. Although one time I found myself getting chased by some tribe on like this giant red rock front before I like started flying across this canyon. And to this day, I'm pretty sure I astral projected, although I don't know where, like when it was or where it was. And I kind of always wondered to myself,
Man, what did he do to make them niggas that mad?
Unhinged contextual foundations aside, the gameplay reminds me of those like floaty kind of dream experiences. You run at high speeds to build motion and inertia to run off the cliffs and hills and to gain airtime, which you can pretty much glide almost as fast and as far as you ran in order to get to a portal on the other side of the map. You also make use of the time suspended in the air to perform these certain dives that also let you build up more speed. So, you know, you run off a hill, glide however far you like to, and then you gotta go just down to the ground. Usually it's kind of, think of it kind of like, I guess, high-speed skateboarding, except this person's using their feet. Something like that. The environments are colorful, gorgeous, and expectedly varied from the levels of which they've shown so far. But the catch is, you will not just be chilling while you do this. You gotta work for that escape by maneuvering around all manner of natural obstacles that they've wonderfully crafted to range from angel-accurate lasers to basic trees and rocks and gaping holes to incredibly tight spaces. And one thing I like about the aspect of that gameplay is it's gonna catch you off guard, even if you're anticipating running into things, because the harder the objects are to funnel through with the tighter spaces and taking advantage of your speed and inertia, you know, they kind of like jump at you from a greater environment, which is a great way to turn static objects into something that feels a little bit more interactive. Also, the lasers seem to have different patterns from what they've been designing that they compare to, so I think that's a great way to kind of add some variety to switch up some of the straightforward parts of the gameplay. So sometimes you see them in like these hexagonal shapes, and then sometimes they have like this like wheel shape with multiple lasers coming out of it. So again, you know, they're just doing what they can to just build up this game as much as they can to have the kind of standard that they've always had, but to put that little extra in, because this looks like this might be one of their biggest games yet. The level that they have with the giant thorns seems to be like the green hill zone of sorts, and that one looks super fun to me. You know, it's just thoughtful level design because of how they curve and extend themselves throughout the map, with the thorns also adding in an extra amount of space that's being taken up from you. You know, it adds even more strategy to it as well, because the lasers are like common object types while the terrain itself is more of an independent variable. So it reminds me of kind of a lot of those games where, you know, you're like in a ship, you're shooting like 1,000 enemies on screen and you have to dodge like a Caesar inducing amount of energy blast to the point where you're threading a camel through the eye of a needle to get Jeff Bezos into heaven.
Hell yes.
You know, that kind of hecticness where the room for error is very, very, very small. Smaller than the amount of room for error that it takes working with Mr. Beast. The challenge of making this kind of game though is having the kind of controls that are tight enough to give players a fair chance to react about as fast as they're going to be, which to me it looks like they do well enough because the character animations do look pretty solid and fluid. I also like the addition of the hoverboard too. They really didn't have to add that, but they did just because, you know, just makes the game cooler. And honestly, the game was good enough without it, but since these guys are so flavorily stylistic, I do commend them for divvying up the experience like that. Personally, I think we need more hoverboards in games actually. Actually, we need them in real life. Forget EVs. I'm trying to glide down the street like I'm heading to that treehouse in Hereditary, you know? I'm trying to come with a smooth transition over the sidewalk when I should be in the street, but I'd rather not get ran over. I'd rather run somebody else over. In fact, I really appreciate the fact that these guys even have style. It seems like the smaller studios in the industry have way more of a colorful and broad scope of creativity when it comes to the feel and make of their games, but I guess that's just a risk most AAA studios don't want to take. This is definitely the kind of game that'll give challenge seekers something to conquer, but for more casual people like me, something also to easily pass the time by and relax from the streets with. So, in closing, I would say this game to me is like if you took the Just Cause wingsuit engine, I made that shit up, made it with the base Sonic Frontier gameplay, and gave it that Klonoa 2 hoverboard, Sora, what the hell do you have on type of swag. I haven't played many games with an emphasis on speed besides the Burning of Out 1, 2, 3, Revenge, and Paradise, and absolutely none of this sort of style either. So I look at this as one of those sort of games that introduces you to a well-welcomed genre. Also, the team itself is pretty responsive on social media, so send them a message with any questions that you like. I promise you they aren't gonna bite you like Playboy Cardi. I'm pretty curious to see what other features they might add as well, like maybe some character customization or even like a multiplayer racing mode of sorts. They currently don't have an official release date, but personally I do quite enjoy when the status of something is coming soon, because I feel like the game blends more into your life that way. You anticipate it more with each update, but without a solid date, you naturally don't fixate on waiting as much as you do, and paying attention to other things in your life becomes more of a priority. I actually went through that with Kingdom Hearts 3. I managed to stay alive during that whole arduous 6-year wait after the announcement, and can you really believe we waited 6 years after 8 years of waiting as well? At some point after about 2 years, my inner fanboy got bored and I got a job and just focused on college and my life afterwards, and next thing you know, the game was out in 2019. I only got so far as the frozen level before ditching it for Risk of Rain.
Bitch, this all you got? $3 in a prepaid cell phone with fucking 2 minutes on it.
So life is funny like that. I think Haste has a lot of opportunity to give Landfall more attention in the gaming space, and if it is particularly successful, I think that the revenue they get will allow them to make even more special games. You can just tell when somebody is maximizing their brain naturally on a work of art such as this. The game is relatively simple, to the point, because that's what you're running towards anyway. And yet the static parts of the environment come alive in their danger as much as the moving ones because of how well they've developed the element of speed and range of motion. The simplicity of it all is what makes the game so exciting to me. I'm rooting for this team to have a hit on their hands so they can continue to scale up their games and make even crazier titles for us to get lost in. And also for me to get some YouTube clout tokens when I say, I told you so. This is my first review. This is my first preview. So I hope you enjoyed most of it. I hope you, you guys are like, wow, I never know about this game. Let me check this out. And, put that thing on your wish list. Maybe it's a game you can get for your cousin. Get them off the Fortnite, get them off the Minecraft. Let them switch it up. Seems like everyone's just playing Call of Duty, 2K, and Fortnite. Let's let the kids feel something else for once. So put that Haste on your wish list and make Haste when it comes out. See you guys later.